Some territories around the globe harbor a notable demographic disparity between the sexes, where the female presence significantly outweighs the male. In these locales, women sometimes need to compete for the attention of men due to their scarcity. According to statistical records, there tends to be a near-perfect balance in the ratio of male to female births, except during periods of armed conflict, where male losses occur on a large scale. Today, it is estimated that the global population consists of around 3.97 billion men and 3.90 billion women. However, in certain countries and specific cities, this demographic equation diverges considerably. In this presentation, we will explore the regions where the female contingent significantly surpasses the number of men. If you are interested in this topic, please stay tuned until the conclusion. According to reports from travelers who have explored these areas, we are so accustomed to the notion of an equitable gender ratio with approximately 50% for each, that a subtle variation, such as a mere 7% increase in the female population, becomes extraordinarily noticeable in everyday life. It's as if one enters a predominantly female universe, a truly impactful scenario. Let's take Latvia as an example, a small country in Eastern Europe, whose capital, Riga, is home to a population of 700,000, with 400,000 being women. In this peaceful and preserved locality, the male contingent makes up only 43% of the total. In neighboring Lithuania, we find Vilnius, the Lithuanian capital. These belong to the category of nations where the very landscape and features of the inhabitants indicate the location. Mostly blonde, light-eyed, with centuries-old buildings, majestic castles, an architecture imbued with classical beauty, and a much more expressive female presence than we are accustomed to observing. Approximately 58% of the residents are women. However, Lithuania is not among the destinations where people strive to settle. In reality, at this moment, we see more individuals leaving the country than entering, which could soon lead to a serious internal issue, making immigration of foreigners like us considerably more accessible to this nation, city of Hong Kong in China. Here, women make up 60% of the population, while men account for 40%, creating a notable disparity that is clearly evident on the streets. The environment is imbued with friendliness towards foreigners, given that the region is a magnet for new faces in constant flux. Communication is not a barrier, as it's easy to make new friends even without mastering the local language. The willingness to assist is evident in every interaction. However, a setback to be considered is Hong Kong's characteristic as a compact territory, overflowing with a dense population. The presence of people is omnipresent, with a predominance of women, of course. As a result, rental prices are among the highest in Asia and indeed the world. On the other hand, dining establishments offer very inviting prices, providing an opportunity to balance the travel finances. Curaçao, a true gem for both travelers and corporations seeking tax benefits. This is a tropical corner situated in the Caribbean, under Dutch domain, near Venezuela, inhabited by around 160,000 people, with 90,000 of them being female. The magnitude of the population resembles that of a medium-sized neighborhood in the city of Sao Paulo. Curaçao attracts those yearning for clear water beaches and refreshing dives, gaining equal prominence as a haven appreciated by gaming and betting companies. Many of the online betting platforms you likely know have their operational base in Curaçao. This is due to the flexibility of local regulations, which are not overly strict when it comes to customer security, resource movement, and tax responsibilities. Deul, a corner in Africa. This is an unknown corner located in the northeast of the African continent, neighboring Ethiopia and Somalia. Although it is an economically disadvantaged place, it cannot be excluded from this list, as its demographics stand out. 60% of its inhabitants are remarkable women. Whispers indicate that these women ardently seek companions, yet there are not enough men for all of them. This imbalance leads to a high rate of infidelity among men, resulting in offspring outside of marital bonds. In Ukraine, those who have ventured into its lands confirm that the nighttime scenery is predominantly female. Given the low local birth rate, it is likely that such a panorama will remain unchanged for a long time. Similar to Lithuania, Ukrainian citizens are gradually migrating to other European nations, opening up a horizon of opportunities for those seeking new homes. Around 59% of the Ukrainian population is composed of women, which results in a significant number of single ladies. As a consequence, Ukraine boasts one of the highest proportions of users of dating apps in the world. Nauru, a small paradise in the vast Pacific Ocean, ranks among the smallest global states. The minuscule area houses approximately 6,500 women in a nation that is not usually a preferred tourist destination, remaining on the fringes of visitor lists. Therefore, if you venture to Nauru, be aware that you will attract curious looks, almost like a celebrated figure. However, a dilemma that troubles the country's health authorities is the alarming number of individuals, over 94, suffering from heart problems, while diabetes affects more than 30% of Nauruans. Ljubljana, in Slovenia, is a place where history seems to have taken a peculiar turn. Have you ever heard of a city where over 90% of its population is composed of women? Well, that actually happened in Ljubljana. Imagine, in a certain year, almost 91% of the births were girls. This means that out of every 10 babies born, an astonishing 9 were female. The search for answers intrigued researchers, leading them to explore the reasons behind this intriguing phenomenon. And the conclusion they reached is even more curious. They believe that the answer is rooted in a brief period of war that devastated the region. The high level of psychological stress resulting from this conflict seems to have influenced pregnancy patterns, resulting in a sharp decline in the births of boys. Today, although the gender ratio has balanced out more, there is still a noticeable predominance of females in the city. In Macau, China, an intriguing scene unfolds that surprisingly resembles the glitter of Las Vegas. Surprisingly, the official language of this location is Portuguese, a legacy of centuries of Portuguese colonization. Macau stands as an independent city-state, almost a country of its own, albeit under Chinese administration. Its focus is primarily on tourism, especially due to the legalization of gambling. The peculiarity continues when we look at the gender distribution. About 60% of the residents are women, leaving men as a 40% minority. However, this discrepancy often goes unnoticed due to the influx of male tourists who flock to the region. Venturing into the tranquility of Anguilla, an island in the Caribbean, we encounter a unique scene. In this little explored paradise, men constitute a notable minority. With an annual average of only 70,000 visitors, the contrast between the high number of women and the scarcity of men is striking. It's a place frequented mainly by affluent travelers, not because it's exorbitantly expensive, but as an escape from the crowds that inundate more renowned destinations. Anguilla emerges as a peaceful gem, a well-kept secret that most tourists simply don't consider. And there you have it. What did you think of this exploration? If you've made it this far, share your impressions with us. Which of these cities or regions would you love to explore? We really want to hear your opinion. And if this video managed to hold your attention, be sure to give it a thumbs up.